This is Blaine. How y'all doing? Thanks for listening. And we're going to have a great podcast for you. It's on turf grass this week. And me and Brad go into all the different types of maintenance issues that we've had, problems you can have with your lawn, reasons to have it, reasons not to have it, how to maintain it and love it and nurture it and not overuse resources for it. I mean, it does have a place. I've never said that it doesn't have a place. I just think we need to be a little bit more wiser in our lawn choices. But here we go. Me and Brad talking about turf. Enjoy. Love you guys. This episode of the podcast is sponsored by Lawn Thumbs. Have you ever wanted to start your own lawn care or garden maintenance business? Or maybe you started one and you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed. Either way, you should go to youtube.com/Lawn Thumbs, where my friend Freddie, the owner of Lawn Thumbs, takes you behind the scenes of how he runs his lawn care business. I've known Freddie for a few years. We went to Utah State together. And he'll show you the tips and tricks while taking you on his weekly lawn care adventures. So go to youtube.com/LawnThumbs now and subscribe to his channel. That's youtube.com/LawnThumbs. LAWNTHUMBS. And by supporting Lawn Thumbs, you support the podcast. So if you want to help out the horticult, what to do is go to his YouTube and subscribe. Lawn Thumbs. This is Blaine.
And this is Brad.
And we are the horticult. Turfy. Turf.
Yeah, turfy.
Today I saw someone watering. So it's April. First April. And it was the park. The city park was watering their lawn.
Which city?
This one. Vineyard.
What?
Yeah, just down, yeah.
Do they think they own Utah Lake?
I think they do. Well, they're so close.
Jeez.
I know. I was like, the idea of watering is to supplement what is being sucked out. It's not necessarily going to wake up your freaking lawn.
Yeah.
But it's already green. I've seen people that have mowed.
Yeah.
I mean, my lawn looks like garbage, but I don't care. It's because I turned off the water in, like, August.
It's still dormant. It's still kind of chilling.
Yeah.
It's quiet.
I'm not going to wake it up, so I have to start spending money on it.
Right.
Keep that thing as sleepy long as possible.
Sleepy.
But some people want it green and start mowing. I don't know.
Well, are you playing baseball out there?
It was the soccer field. That they were watering.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like this little brown area. I don't know if they were doing the whole place or they were just like focusing on this brown area. Or maybe it was they were just they're warming it up. You know, making sure the pipes are working and everything's going.
Right. Yeah,
but
broken pipes are
inevitable.
inevitable.
It's like, was 50s? Was it 50s today? Did it get in the 50s?
Mm-hmm.
So it's still pretty cool.
Yeah. You know, and it's going to rain tomorrow.
Right.
I mean, that's in the forecast. It by damn it better rain.
Yeah. So,
nice.
It's out there. People are trying to do their stupid lawns.
Yeah.
But that's what we're here to talk about.
It is turf grass, baby.
Turf grass care. So, you ready?
I'm ready.
Situational. If it's right now or in a month and your lawn's waking up, what's the first thing you should do if you have if you want to green up your lawn space? What you should have done is fertilize in the fall. Most people do it in the spring. Most people aerate in the spring only. But it's probably actually better to do it in the fall and then do it again in the spring.
Yeah, budget that in. It's about $30 for your average household yard. I don't know, quarter acre or third of an acre.
Yeah, we had like a kid. I think it was just some neighborhood kids that they were trying to raise some money, and they had rented one for the day. And I don't even know how much it is for the day, like $40.
I want to say it's more like close to 80.
Oh, close to 80 for a day.
Yeah.
And
maybe it's $40 for like a half a day.
Okay.
Yep.
So they were hitting everybody in the neighborhood. They were just knocking on everybody's door and saying, "Hey, $25, we'll just bust it out. We're right here." And I'm like, I don't want you to bust my sprinkler head. So
Yeah.
shuffle on.
Some places will go flag the heads before they begin.
Yeah, these kids weren't. They were just, high school kids.
Yep. So I guarantee there's going to be a broken something.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool. I mean, people need it done, and they were willing to do it, and it probably would save a lot of time. And sometimes saving time is better.
Yeah, I would pay that price for sure.
Yeah, I could just see him breaking a head, and then it's like, it's going to take me way longer to fix that head than it is for me to do it right, Yeah. But I would probably just have someone do it for me that knows how to do it, and that I could call back if there is a broken head, that they're guaranteed to do it, right.
Yeah.
We'll back up their work.
Spend that extra $5 to $10.
Yeah.
Good call.
Exactly.
So, fertilizer.
Yeah.
So we're talking about turf grass maintenance, and right around this time of year, so just to fire things up, fertilizer right before a rainstorm. That's kind of what I do. I look for a rainstorm in the forecast. It's going to be like a 2-dayer, and I quickly run to Home Depot or wherever and grab my fertilizer and spread that out right before it rains. That way I don't need to worry about turning on my sprinkler system and whatever. And the rain does the job for me. So fertilizer, aeration. That's a good one. Early spring, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And some people who want to make their lawn a little bit thicker and possibly even greener, perfect time to overseed or reseed or overseed with the new batch of grass seed. In this instance, it would be for people who have, let's just say, trees in their lawn, and there's a lot of shade in certain spots. And they're like, oh man, my grass is kind of thin right there. Well, spring is the time to apply or top dress with additional grass seed.
Yeah, the hardest thing is to know what kind of grass you actually have. So, like, there's a lot of different varieties in the varieties. So, like, bluegrass, there's a bunch of different bluegrasses. And then there's, like, some red fescue that are used in lawns they're used differently for different purposes. So, I mean, we can get into, like, you got cool weather grasses and you got warm weather grasses. Okay, so in Utah, most of our grasses are cool weather grasses. That's when they grow best, is spring and the fall, where they shouldn't need a lot of manipulation to grow. It's their happy seasons. They have 2 seasons, where the summer is where it's going to go brown on you. And it's not dying when it goes brown. It's going into dormancy. So by keeping it out of dormancy, you water it. You're not watering it to make it grow. You water it too much, it's going to grow more. So I think people need to catch on to that a little bit. It's going to grow. It just matters how fast you want it to grow. So to cut it back, Kentucky bluegrass is extremely drought tolerant. It really is. It can handle a lot. It just doesn't stay green. It stays alive. I mean, you can go weeks and weeks and weeks and straight summer, and you can water it, and it'll come back.
So even though it looks like it's dead because it's brown,
it goes dormant.
It goes dormant. Okay, yeah. Kind of goes underground.
And the shorter you cut that freaking lawn, the more you're going to need to water it, the more you're going to need to fertilize it, the more money you're going to have to pour onto it to keep it green, to keep it looking good.
So that kind of leads me to, we talk golf courses. Good example of really, really, really short grass on your putting area.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, and even I think that's pretty rad that you can have a grass grow that short, right? And it'd be super cool to have that at your house. Kind of, if you think about it. But you're right. There's so much money being poured into those fairways and the putting area, it's just not economically feasible. There's just no way. And plus, not to mention, it is a different variety or type of grass that allows to grow that short. Bent grass or something like that. But right. So it's not something that your average typical consumer could just buy over the counter.
Yeah, and they aerate that a lot more than we aerate our lawns. I mean, they'd use a fine aerator. They have specialized equipment. They have a plan to supplement all this chemicals onto it. When it's shorter, you're fighting diseases more. It's not healthy. So the roots are relative to the size of the blade of grass. So if you have a really short, like the greens,
yeah,
they're really short. They have little itty bitty roots. Okay, their roots are not going to go deeper. And if you could really shock your grass if it's long and you cut it more than I think it was down to a third of what it was. Mm-hmm. That's stressing the grass out too much. I always leave it as long as I can, and I water it as little as possible. Mm-hmm. So as it's longer, the blades are longer, the roots are able to go down deeper. You water longer periods, less frequently. So you're putting a lot of water on at one time and then pulling back and letting it dry all the way out, where golf courses have to constantly water.
Yeah, there's a lot of water that goes into golf course systems, and like you were saying, fungicides, insecticides, aerating. They're aerating constantly, not just because the carts are on there, but there's a lot of foot traffic, and they can do that because they're generating money. So, but we're talking about kind of like a turf grass management from a homeowner's perspective, and it's kind of like, what can we do? Everybody wants to have the least amount of maintenance, right?
Yeah.
Well, grow your grass longer.
Yep.
And you'll have less maintenance.
Right. Water it less frequently. Water it deeper, so it doesn't need to be watered as much. It can fight off weeds when it's longer. It can withstand crazy temperature variances. It's less susceptible to diseases like funguses. So if you're getting mushrooms, you're obviously watering too much straight up.
There's that, but also mushrooms is a sign of organic material decaying underneath the grass level and in the soil profile, and so it could be from like an old tree stump or like just some random,
or even like thatch material.
Yeah.
So like that is another thing you can do, and that's one of the things that our sponsor does. Is he does power raking or dethatching, and that is one of the things that he really focuses on. I personally don't think you need to do it every year, but if you've never done it and you've lived in your house for 10, 20 years and you have an issue with mushrooms, cleaning that out is probably a good idea. And it can get a lot. It is like, you'd be surprised how much thatch will come out of your lawn.
And then you get those matted, those dead blades over years and years and years of time. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a proponent though of leaving the clippings in your lawn.
That's me too.
That it's a natural nitrogen source for your lawn, so you won't need to fertilize it as often. But if you're not mulching it enough, like if you're making the clippings too big, it's not going to decay and it'll just build up. So it needs, like my mower, I used to have a mower that was a mulch mower, so it would actually mulch it finely. It had multiple blades inside, and it would chop. So it would be very fine when it would come out, and you can just leave it. The U, we would have to like make sure there were no. We didn't pick up our clippings at the U. We would have to spread it out and make sure it would decay.
So the more often you're you're trimming the grass, the smaller those little blades
Yep.
are.